Today on the Drinks at 6 podcast, a 30-year-old talks about being 40, a 40-year-old talks about being 40, and we talk about 30 and 40-year-olds talking about being 40. So have a listen to Drinks at 6.
Pour yourself a glass of wine and get ready for this week's edition of Drinks at 6.
Hey, Monica.
Jacqueline, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I hear you sound a little stuffed up.
I'm a little sick. I'm not a little sick. I started off a little sick, but then it was slowly upgraded from a man cold to a woman cold over the weekend. So,
okay. So you're good now.
Well, I'm murdering through it as women do. I mean, you're not going to hear me whining and pouting. I mean, I did that, and then I realized, I must have a man cold. But then I'm handling it like a pro. So I know it's a woman's cold now. Yeah, I'm good, though. But I poured a glass of my new favorite, a Californian called Buried Hope, and in the hopes
yes,
that alcohol will kill germs.
I love it. You know what else kills germs?
What?
Presents.
Presents kill germs?
Yes, I have a little present for you.
You really
This
do have a
is,
present for me.
It's very special.
It's very special.
Yeah.
It's beautifully wrapped.
It is. I hope
this
you
is
can.
going to be really loud on the mic. Oh my god, it's a big brown tissue to blow my nose.
Yeah.
But it's not. It is a scrunchie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did I not say they were coming
You
back?
said they were coming
There
back.
you go.
Did you? And it's got
Isn't it
like
beautiful?
a little bunny tail on it
Yeah,
or something.
I picked it up at a boutique in Oakville called Salt Creek House.
Oh my
And
god, this is adorable.
she's got a fantastic store. And I saw them there and I said, "Oh my goodness, is that an actual scrunchie?" And she said, "Yeah."
Oh.
So there you go.
Okay, listeners, this is an actual scrunchie. Listen, did you hear that? That is a furry, glittery scrunchie. I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this. Remember? That was our mission. We were going to bring scrunchies back. I mean, we had a few cocktails, and it still seemed like a good idea after. Well, thank you for my scrunchie.
You're very welcome.
It makes my cold feel so much better.
Good.
I can pull my hair back while I'm sneezing everywhere. That's awesome. So, I want to talk to you, my friend, today about some opinions on the 40-hood. And you had sent me a few articles the other week. I don't know if you remember if you were into the wine or not, but
Probably.
you sent me a really good one from People magazine that was done, I think, in August. They interviewed Olivia Wilde, the Tron legacy actress, who's 31 and been married for a year. And she sort of waxes lyrical on, what it's going to be like being 40. And she talks about how most of the women she respects are in their 40s. And I can't remember who she labeled, but if she labeled Judi Dench, I will. I won't kill her.
Oh.
No. But, being the young 31-year-old, that probably looks like 40 to her right now. So I want to talk about that article because I know you sent it to me I think what you meant was, hey, isn't this great? This 31-year-old is being very positive about the 40s, and women in their 40s and how she kind of can't wait to get to 40 or she's looking forward to 40. Yeah.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I think the other thing that I really liked about it was that that she was in admiration of women in their 40s, whereas, we've talked about this before where we feel kind of like, we're an important generation too, and when we were younger, we looked up to women in our 40s, and our women that are in their 20s and 30s doing the same now. So when I saw that article, it kind of validated it, like, oh, okay, well, here's a woman that is, looking to women in their 40s and feeling inspired and all those kind of things. Oh. How did you take it, Jacqueline? I'm thinking a different way. Let me guess.
Some bad news for you. Might have been the cold coming on. I don't know.
Was this in the man cold day when you read this?
When it was earlier in the man cold phase. Okay, so just a few things. I did get that from the article, but and I will post this article under our podcast so you can read it and gather your own opinion. One, I felt like at 31 she was a bit young to be commenting on what the 40s are going to feel like, and what I mean is she says. She said something like, I think your 40s are an opportunity to enjoy what you worked for, which is true, but worked for, it's about your 20s are about effing up, and your 30s are about sort of taking those mistakes and learning from them, which we've talked about before, which is so true. But it kind of sounded like your 40s, your career is done. And because she goes on to say, when she hits 40, she can just relax with her family and relax back on her work. I'm like, sister, you're not going to be relaxing anywhere in your 40s. Like,
right.
You're going to be running around. You're going to, like, if you're not still in Hollywood, you might find something else, another passion. If you really think you're throwing in the towel at 40, you're going to have a very long, long retirement ahead of you. But I felt like that was sort of tipped the scale for me on the article. Like, it's almost like I was with her, I was flattered, and then I was like, you don't really get it. You think 40 is slowing down. You don't see 40 for what it really is.
Yeah, she hasn't had the gift of realizing when you're 40 you don't know anything. You got to start all over again.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we're just ramping up and ready to go, and she's sort of talking about 40 as the new 80.
Oh my God, 40's the new 80.
40's the new 80.
We're sticking with 40's the new 40.
Yeah, 40 is still 40. So that's kind of what I got from it.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that perspective as well. But
well, it'll be really interesting because later on in the podcast we're going to talk about what another celebrity says about 40. And I think she could take Olivia Wilde down.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so that was an interesting article, and it was great to read that. Like, I really do look at the positive of that and think that was really, it's inspiring to know that she wasn't dreading 40. She wasn't clinging to 31 for dear life. So from that perspective, it definitely was interesting.
For sure. And I guess there's a little bit of an underlying, like she's making an assumption that it could be read that way, that she's making an assumption that she knows what 40 is all about. And, I certainly wouldn't tell somebody that was 55 or 60 what it was all about, because I have no idea.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
And I think that she's looking forward to it like it's retirement. Maybe in Hollywood it is retirement. Well, I guess in Hollywood, when you're a beautiful young actress, 40 might be retirement, although we know some really hot 40-year-old celebrities who definitely don't look like they're anywhere near retirement.
Yeah.
So anyway, great article, and I'm glad you sent it so I could knock it down.
Me too. It's always good to get
welcome.
Opinion B. Okay.
Why aren't you drinking red today? What are you having?
I'm having white. So
Why? Does
there's
that make you
this.
loopy?
No, I love white wine, Jacqueline. We are
Okay.
Our little opposites keep coming up, but there's a wine from Chile that I really like called Las Mulas, and it has a donkey on the front cover on the label on the page. So I went to the LCBO and the donkey was nowhere to be found. So I picked up one with a little birdie on it, also from Chile.
Animal wines.
Yeah, I really like animal wines. Yeah.
What's that one?
It's called Calitera. It's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Calitera?
No, I like the way you said it. Just like you do.
You
the
did?
Chilean accent.
Oh, was I doing the accent?
Yeah, it was good.
Calitera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one good thing is,
very nice.
if you and I ever get stranded on a cottage on an island, we never have to worry about dipping into each other's supply.
Exactly. And
So-
towards the end, we'll just make a rosé.
Yeah, of course. One less thing to fight about. Okay. I have to give you this week's mothering moment. My mummy moment this week was I'm trying to raise a thoughtful, helpful little 4-year-old. And I thought, I maybe have helicoptered too much, and people say that when they're 4, their motor skills are developing. You have to give them a chance to do things on their own, even though they're about to, drop an egg on the floor or whatever. You have to let it happen. You have to let them develop confidence. So we had this big party on our street this weekend, and I had to do my fair share, and I said to Maddie, do you want to help Mommy with the party this weekend? You want to help me get ready? And she said, no, I'm a little girl. And I said, well, little girls can help. And she said, no, Mommy, you're a big girl. You can do it. And I said, I know I can do it, but I always need help. People always need help, and it's always nice to help. And then she just kind of paused, and she said, so is Daddy going to be at the party this weekend? And I said, yeah, he is. It's going to be a lot of fun. And she said, good, then Daddy can help you.
Wow.
Fire.
This child thinks things through.
Yeah, she does. It's scary.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really... Last week she asked me where the wind came from.
Oh, that's a loaded question.
That is loaded. I had to defer to Dad.
Has she asked you where she came from yet?
No. That one's going straight to Grandma and Grandpa.
I say you send it to Daddy.
I say, yeah, maybe that's Okay,
that's great.
You also sent me another article.
I did.
Don't be afraid. I'm gonna go easier on this one. This one was the Huffington Post, and it was by Andrea Reiser. 47 Things I've Learned in My 40s. And she's a great writer. Like, I enjoyed this article. I really got a lot from it, probably because she was in her 40s. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't...
She wasn't 31?
She wasn't 31, pretending. And so she's a happiness coach, and this article, goes through the list of the 40 things. And I pulled out a few that I really liked because I thought that they were really poignant and bang on for me. And I'll just kind of read a few of them, and you can jump in anytime. It's no one. Okay, so one of the quotes that I loved was, she says, "Stop waxing poetic about how good it used to be. Stop fantasizing about how good it might be in the future, and savor how good it is right now. Make your moments matter." That is something I am truly guilty of. I'm always worrying about tomorrow. I'm always thinking about what happened yesterday. I'm always looking back at my 20s when I jump on a scale or try on a dress. I mean, we've talked about this, endlessly. Mm-hmm. So I really liked that quote. I think a lot of us, not just 40-year-old women, but we have a problem staying in the moment.
For sure. Yeah, and it's like it's a practice thing, right? It's one of those things we have to learn now. Like, this is the whole thing, I feel like, about being in the 40s, is that realization that we really don't know everything, and that is so true.
Yeah.
Like, we have to do it. It should be right up there with, walk 40 minutes a day or whatever it is.
Yeah. Stay in the moment for 40 minutes a day.
Good
luck with that.
Yeah, that's right. And when you look back on what happened in the past and all these fond memories, the memories are often sweeter than when it was actually happening, because your mind was in a million different places when it was happening. Imagine how great that memory would be if you were actually there.
Yeah, because you were probably, you weren't in the moment then either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was a really interesting point. Mm-hmm. She goes on, one of her other points that I loved is, life is what happens while you're waiting expectantly for the next big thing on the horizon to come to fruition. Savor the everyday. Kind of sort of the same idea, right? Like, staying here right now and appreciating what's around you and learning from what's happening to you in the moment, as opposed to, trying to figure out where it's going to lead or how successful it's going to be, or... Yeah.
Actually, the last time we did a podcast together, you made a really funny joke, and I did not catch it or respond to it at all because it was great. It was a cabbage soup or something you said?
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I didn't, and I went, oh yeah, and then I went on with whatever it was that I was going to say, because all I was thinking about was like, okay, what am I going to say? Like, what am I going to say when Jacqueline's finished? I got to say something, right? And that's not being in the moment. That's actually being a little bit egotistical too. But you were telling me about the improv stuff, right? And how to, that was great advice that you gave me, because it's true. If you just sort of go with it and follow it, that's when spontaneity happens and humor comes up and all of this stuff when you're not inwardly focused.
It's funny, too, I'm taking, for those of you who didn't listen last week, I'm taking the Second City Level A improv course, and it's I never want to be on stage. I would never do that to anyone or myself. But I
would be at your show.
You would be my only person.
I'm your biggest fan.
But what I find is when we do these exercises, I've never been so cognizant or aware of a 2.5-hour session as I am with this one, because... we have a large group of people, and we're doing exercises that build. Each person is building a piece of the exercise. You have no idea which way it's going to go. And there are 18 people by the time it gets to you. You cannot anticipate from the first, second, seventh, ninth, 14th person where it's going to be when it gets to you. So you have to stay attentive. And you have to listen, because your response will be not based on everything that happened around then. It will be based on the very last thing the person before you says. So you have to be there. You have to be there, and you have to show up. So I find that really interesting, because now when I'm talking to people, I think, the tendency to jump ahead in your mind is almost like a nerve thing, like a nervous sort of, you're trying to make sure you're prepared. Mm-hmm. But the most prepared that you can be is by being right there and ready for it, because you've heard everything, right? So you're able to react in a more authentic, genuine way when that happens. So it's interesting. Like, it's a really, highly recommend this kind of course, any kind of improv course.
That's great. And that's good brain work, too. Because if you think about, like, you're listening to 15 people, right? So you're going through that line of people. And if you can tie what the 6th guy said into what the 13th guy said when you're number 14, that's when, like, really witty humor comes
that's
about,
when you get a gold star. Yeah,
I love it.
The other thing about being in improv is the first thing they teach you is it's not about being funny. The funny moments happen by the process itself. If you're like, the first time we did the exercise, I think we're all thinking the same thing. We're all going in a circle, and we all have to tell a sentence that builds on a sentence. And, I'm like the last guy, of course. I'm like, okay, that third person goes, they say something, I'm like, I totally know what I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome. And then the fourth person goes in a different direction. I'm like, crap, now I don't know what and it came all the way around. And then by the time it came to me, the story was completely different than the beginning, and
you know what this is going to be great for, too?
Why?
I think all of us women need to join that class, because when you argue with your husband, I know when I argue with my husband, I get in trouble because I make assumptions. I make assumptions on how he's feeling, what he's going to say next, based on history, based on...
Yes.
Right?
You have a script in your head.
Yeah, totally. Yep. This could really be a relationship changer.
Actually, that's interesting that you said that. Let's totally go in another direction right now.
Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, I hope you guys are fine. Okay, so I have a therapist, and we had a really good session with her. We were just talking. We just went in sort of for like an annual maintenance check.
Good for you guys.
Your car in, right?
Yep.
And I found her. She's my therapist. So I always go in thinking, you're in so much trouble because I pay her.
She's on my side. You're going down.
She's like my staff. And she's my PR lady. And so we talked about how we argue and how we, a seemingly harmless comment or whatever can go completely awry. And one of the things she said that's important is that arguments start before you even open your mouth. They start because you look at each other's face and you make an assumption by that person's expression. So we had to do this exercise where she said to me, I want you to look at your husband and I want you to look at his face and I want you to tell me physically what you see and tell me what you're assuming about it. So I looked at him and I said, I see him frowning and I assume he's looking at me thinking it's my fault we're here. And I'm like, yeah, I want to point for that. And then he said, no, actually, I was just wondering what you were going to say. I'm like, really? It was that simple?
Really? Whoa.
So you can see that if we were in an argument and I was looking at his face, taking that kind of information in, my response to him, anything he said, would have been defensive. Because I felt blamed before he even opened his mouth. It was a really interesting exercise. I suggest you all try it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really helpful in breaking down that very first barrier that causes some of the worst arguments.
For sure. Okay, there was a hilarious thing on Facebook that I saw this weekend exactly about that. And it was a man and a woman, and it was... you know how they say him and her or whatever. So anyway, it said my thoughts, and that was the woman speaking. Mm-hmm. She said, we went out tonight for dinner. He hardly said a word. I'm not sure he's in love with me anymore. Then we decided to take a romantic walk along the water. He still hardly spoke to me. I asked him if everything was okay. He said yes, but then he turned and looked in the other direction. I really think he's falling out of love with me. And it carries on and on and on. Like it's like 3 paragraphs. And then it goes, his thoughts. Why the hell aren't the windshield wipers on my car working? Like, it was so funny,
It is so true.
Yeah, it is. It's so true.
And I don't mean to go guy girl on this, but I really do think that is a natural thing for women to do, and that is a natural thing for men to do. On the one hand, we accuse them for not being sensitive enough, but on the other hand, we give them credit for being too sensitive. Like,
yes.
We think that they're not sensitive to our needs, whatever, but this woman's going on in her head and having this entire dialogue and a fight and a divorce. Meanwhile, the guy's just thinking about a windshield wiper.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, quite honestly, maybe it wasn't that interesting to him what she was talking about. Who knows? It happens.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean you're not in love.
Nope.
Wow. Isn't
Yeah,
that
that
interesting?
is. I love that
Yeah,
stuff.
the fights we get into over
God.
over nothing.
Yeah.
I think that Andrea Reeser has a comment about that, but I don't think I noted it or pulled it out because she's got 40 really great ones. And again, I'm going to post the link because you should read them. No, it's 47 things I
47,
learned.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, another thing that she said that I did disagree with. Point number 8, she says, no one gives a crap if you go to the supermarket and sweats without makeup and your unwashed hair and a ponytail on top of your head.
Who's no one gives a crap? The person themselves or the
That's-
people, the
That's
onlookers?
The other onlookers. But I think what she's saying is you don't give a crap what those people think about you when you go out like that. But my point is, okay, I'm in my 40s. I don't honestly go out like that. I have respect. I have self-respect. I have pride in my appearance. There have been times I've gone to the grocery store, maybe not looking like I'm going to work, but not like that.
Right.
Like, I would wear a baseball cap and hide it. Like, that one I found it to be, like, a little negative about being in your 40s means just letting yourself go. Letting go of what other people think is a great thing. Letting your body and hygiene and appearance and self-respect go, that's a totally different thing.
That's true. I have a positive spin on that comment.
Okay, make a spin.
I got the spin. So the other part of that is, because I like to walk around looking like a slob myself. No, but the other part of that is that, like, okay, so for me, when I was in my 20s, like, I had pimples and whatever, and I was really big on makeup. Like, I could not leave the house without a stitch of makeup on because I got to cover up those pimples, and I was just insecure.
Yeah.
And now I don't have that insecurity anymore. I may have a couple marks on my face for that stuff when I was a kid, but I feel comfortable to wear a sweatshirt and jeans and no makeup and a ponytail to the grocery store, and I actually feel beautiful, which is the other side of it, right?
But that's natural. That's recognizing your natural beauty. I feel like she's saying sweats without makeup, unwashed hair, and a ponytail on top of your head. You get this, like...
Oh, yeah.
You get this
the
picture
grease
of, like,
pit.
this really disheveled...
Yeah.
Like,
And don't you feel like that's like a Hollywood thing? Like, that's what the girls are doing now when they're out on...
maybe.
You see,
Like, is
which
that,
I
like,
think
if
is
Miley
why
Cyrus
is
had
that
hair?
Yeah.
She would look like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, every time I look at the People magazines or whatever, it's always, so-and-so spotted at the grocery store. And that's exactly the look they're rocking out. And I'm thinking...
What's wrong with that?
What are you doing?
Yeah, like, why do you care?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess those paparazzi aren't in their 40s either.
That's
Yeah.
why I love going to Montreal, you know? The women there, they dress for the grocery store. They dress for the...
It's kind
They're
of...
really...
Yeah.
Yeah, and the boutiques, they sell beautiful clothes because women are wearing that stuff every day. Like,
Yeah.
there is no Lululemon. There's no Lululemon people walking around in Montreal.
Lululemon
I haven't seen
people.
any.
Lululemon bots walking around.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
that's Mummyville for you. And I do own a lot of Lulu.
Their Starbucks. Yeah.
Okay, so a few more that I really wanted to point out. One is, she said, take a risk and have the guts to seize the opportunity because it may not present itself again. I think that kind of doesn't... I don't think we can disagree on that one.
No.
Try.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Well,
But it's so true, right? Like, there's a great quote that I'm going to misquote. The time will pass anyway, right? So people will always say, well, I can't do it right now, or maybe I'll wait until this. And you're like, but the time will pass, and you will still have this on your mind or on your plate. So just do it. Mm-hmm. And I think that is about changing your attitude and changing the way that you approach things a little bit.
yeah.
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 Okay, so
I agree. Yeah. That's a wrap on that one. I was just thinking about the last weekend of, the first weekend of fall, how I jumped into the lake.
I saw your picture on Facebook. Can we post that on the
Sure.
podcast? That's an awesome shot.
Yeah, like, and I stressed about it. Like, I actually gave myself a headache thinking from Thursday till Saturday going, I got to do that. I got to do that. The water is still, like, reasonably warm. If I don't do it, I'm going to regret it. I will regret it.
You should have done it Friday, except no one would have been there to
take a picture.
Yeah,
exactly.
Then we would have had to trust your integrity.
That's right. It was the best feeling. You just got to do it, man.
Yeah.
The only time I have like stress with stuff like that is if you got to shell out money to take a risk. Then I go, oh, I don't know.
That's a risk and an investment.
Yeah.
And
is it an investment?
Well, it depends.
That's what we have to ask ourselves.
That's what stress is about.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. I totally understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and another one, I think, like, I'll just do two more. One is, she says, the morning after is rarely, if ever, worth the night before. I totally
disagree.
Good, so do I.
Oh my God,
Damn,
no!
Andrea. You gotta live a little.
Hello!
I don't care if you have kids or like a
No,
gaggle.
good for the soul, man.
Yeah,
you gotta party it up. Like, not get completely wasted. I'm not talking like shooting needles and going to work the next day. We're talking about.
Not talking
no, we're not talking about that at all.
No, and I can't edit this podcast, so stop throwing drugs in.
But seriously, you know what? I was in Halifax with my mom, and we stayed with friends, and we wanted to have a nice lobster dinner the last night. And the last day we were there was the last day of a show that I was doing, so I had to tear down my booth, everything. Didn't get back to the house till 8 o'clock. Anyway, we were going to have this lobster dinner, and I was the only one that knew how to cook the lobster. So we got this giant pot. There were 5 people. It took an hour and a half just to get the pot to boil.
Oh my!
We sat down to dinner at 11:30.
Awesome.
We had the best meal. We went to bed at 3 a.m. Mom and I were up at 7:30. We were in like Quebec. We were in Quebec at 7 o'clock that evening, like driving from Halifax. Do you think we were tired the next day? No. We were so happy. All we could talk about was that night and how much fun we had. But
that's the point, right? I just want to mention a little thing to Andrea.
Do it.
Andrea, when you tell us the morning after is rarely ever worth the night before, I just want to go back to point 28 that says, stop fantasizing about how good it might be in the future or what it was like in the past. You're telling us to stay in the moment and savor the moment. Make your moments matter.
Yeah.
And then a few points later, you're telling us not to party, to think about the morning after, which isn't here yet.
That's right.
Yeah. So
but maybe she's got a different experience. Maybe she's talking about...
Well, I have kids. A kid.
Yeah.
Kind of, too, sometimes. I have a husband.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's considered a child.
Right.
And sometimes we have early things to do. And sometimes we have company the night before, and I know I should call it a night at like 10:30, but we're having fun. I'll deal with it the next day. And I'll still enjoy the next day. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm not getting teenage drunk. So
you're not? Oh,
no.
You're way cooler than me.
Way cooler than
Okay.
Okay, so I have one other contentious point that she makes.
Uh-huh.
She says, no, you can argue this one either way. Sometimes you got to do stuff just because it's the right thing to do. Often it's uncomfortable, usually it's inconvenient, but it's almost always worth it. You and I kind of talked about this in a previous podcast. My question on this one is, isn't that putting other people's needs before your own needs? And is this you supporting yourself when you're doing something that makes you uncomfortable or is inconvenient? Like, what are we talking about there? I think it would help if she gave some examples.
Yeah, I think all of these would help.
Like if we're talking about looking after an elderly parent, for sure. But if you're talking about going to a party you don't want to go to, or, you know, watching your neighbor's kids or whatever when you just can't, like, what is she... I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, like, okay, if she's talking about uncomfortable conversations or, you know, having to address something with somebody that maybe you've been avoiding, I agree. Like, I think that's a good thing. You know, I think it's a good thing on a Monday morning to write down all of the stuff that you don't want to do, the things that are outstanding in your life that are giving you stress and worry, and get that done. Like, just get it done that Monday morning, and then get on with your week and have a beautiful week. Like, we don't like Mondays anyway, so why not just, you know, add to the the stress of the Monday, confront your stuff, and then move on.
Exactly.
But I agree with her there. Like, it's never ever something that I would regret doing, or communication with other people. It's important.
Yeah. I just don't know what she's talking about by things that are making you uncomfortable. Like, things that are inconvenient, yes. Uncomfortable, it's a little bothersome.
So maybe you have, I don't know, like I'm thinking of something that might make me uncomfortable is that something with a customer where they've ordered something from me and they want it at this certain time and then they can't pay for it at that certain, or whatever. And it's a pattern that keeps happening,
right?
Then I need to have a conversation with them that is gentle and kind, that says, you know what, whenever you place your order, just so you know, I'm putting up costs to produce the order, but then when the order's ready, you're not ready for it. So what can we do in the future to make this work? Not to make them feel defensive or to feel like I'm trying to control the way they run their business, but we all have to, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, how do we work together to make this work? Because you're seeing things over here and I'm over here. So how do we come,
okay. I'm going to let Andrea off the hook on that one because you've actually defended her quite nicely.
Okay.
All right. I lied. I have one more.
Oh, boy. I love it.
This article's going on and on.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the last one, I promise, because I know you said you had something you wanted to talk about.
Well, I have something I want to get you with. My word of the day.
I really hope you picked a very, like, a decent word that you can actually
pronounce. You're going to want to absquatulate after.
I will absquatulate.
I think absquatulate's the best word that I ever picked, even though we've only done two podcasts.
I know, but
my mom and I use it together now.
Do you?
Yeah.
What was last week's word? Oh, it was pterodactyl.
Oh, yeah,
Dandildactyl. Dandydactyl. Dandy-dac. Wow, that one really stuck. Okay, so her last point is, elephants don't belong in the room. Having the tough conversation is ultimately better than living with the energy-sapping misery, love that, of resentment or misunderstanding.
Yeah!
Truly caring and loving someone is being willing to put their needs before your discomfort. I, F-bomb, love that one.
Yeah.
I'm going through that right now.
Can you read the last part again, though?
Truly caring and loving someone is being willing to put their needs before your discomfort. And I might add, you would be able to read this on my paper if you would wear your glasses like a proper 40-year-old.
Yeah, I tried readers on the weekend just to try them.
Right, just to try them. Just to see what it looked like to look old like Miss Beasley.
It felt so good.
I know. It's called Vision. You had a vision quest.
But I think the eclipse changed my vision.
Oh, yeah. Last night,
the blood moon.
Just kind of, yeah? Okay. Oh, the one from 2 nights ago.
Just the one that was, what night was that?
Sunday.
Sunday night. Yeah, that was Sunday night.
Yeah, well, good to see that you prepared yourself.
Yeah.
I think that this is an important... So that you're so perfect. This one's really important to me because I have recently, in the last 4 years, gone through a really tough situation with 2 friends. One with an alcohol problem and one with a serious marital problem. And this is a whole other conversation I'm not going to get into in this podcast, but I had to figure out how to be supportive without being judgmental. And I don't mean judgmental that I was actually judging them, but without coming across as being judgmental of the situation, like, what would I do? Because it doesn't matter what I would do. Mm-hmm. But, friends who have drinking problems or emotional problems or whatever that start to become a hindrance in their life, and you sort of feel as a friend that you really should at some point say something, it's really hard to do it. It's really, 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 really hard. Like, I can't believe how stressed out I was about it, and how when I finally did it, I had to really be willing in my mind to be comfortable with the fact that if I did it, I might lose the friendship, and that losing the friendship wasn't a casualty to me if it meant that person could get better. Mm-hmm. And I didn't lose the friendships. One of them is definitely strained because that person's still going through it, and I think that until they sort of get better, anyone who says anything is going to trigger defensiveness. But but it was uncomfortable, but I cared so much that I felt I had to do it, and that was And I would hope someone would do that for me, because if someone were willing to put our friendship on the line to be honest with me about a problem, I would feel I would feel supported. I would feel, even though I might be angry or defensive and not want to face it, I would still feel that that person cared enough about me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why? What do you...
I like, I'm thinking of my own friends and stuff that's happened, you know. It's so delicate to tell people, because like, how do you talk to them in a way that is not judgmental or, oh God, email. Yeah, like, not judgmental or supportive. It's, I don't know, it's hard. Like, I remember growing up, we had this uncle at the cottage that lived up at the cottage, and he was an alcoholic, and anyway, it doesn't matter, it's a dumb story, but the whole thing is that like, my parents, they just sort of stood by and they didn't confront him on it, but there were so many uncomfortable situations, like where he'd come over drunk and there'd be kids up there, but nobody ever said anything, right? But I do feel like with my friends, I have a relationship where I can go, hey, dude, like, what are you doing here? Yeah. You know, but I don't know, Jacqueline, that's an interesting point. Like, and for you, like, what's somebody going to say to you that you're, I don't know. There's nothing about...
I've had, like, my husband and I are very open, and, like, so open that I've said to him, I don't care what I say back to you. If I'm getting fat, can you just tell me?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he'll be like,
and a Seinfeld episode is born.
Here is your Hurt Locker outfit. Go ahead, tell me. Tell me I put on a few. And then he'll, like, you know, on an occasion, once, he told me, and I'm like, what about you? You gained a lot of weight, too. Yeah. So I handled that like a pro. But then I got on my bike and started working out, so.
Okay, wait, I gotta ask you something then.
Yeah.
So, with the husband, it's different. Like, I feel like with the husband, that's like...
Open season.
Open season, totally. But with a friend, you know what irritates me? Is when people that have known me for a long time, and I get stressed and I'm freaking out about something, they go, oh, yeah, but that's how you are, and you'll get through it, right? Like, I feel like... Okay, on one hand, they're right, because they have known me a long time. They know my patterns. But there's this part of me that feels, like, defensive. Like, yeah, but I can change, man. And I might not be who you think I am right now. Like,
it's also very dismissive to say that to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it kind of diminishes what you're going through and how you're feeling about it. They're passing it off like, that's how you are, honey. Don't deal with it. They're not dealing with it.
Okay.
They're not helping you.
Yeah, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, we'll do, and start getting angry.
Okay. Oh my God.
Replace confusion with rage. It always works. Works well in our family. Friday night fights. Just add wine and rage.
You mean the world's not sunshine and rainbows like I thought it was. Okay.
Good. No, but I think that I do like this point. Like, I think sometimes, you know, you do have to go out on a limb for people if you feel... I'm not talking about if someone has a bad habit of picking their teeth or has a bad haircut.
You're talking about serious stuff.
I'm talking about stuff that's going to
cheating on a
physically or emotionally hurt them if they don't stop, right?
Yes.
And, you know, in one case I had a family working with me on it. And, like, her family, like, sometimes you just... Yeah, you have to step up to the plate as a friend, because being a friend isn't all like unicorns and ponies, or I don't know, unicorns and sunshine, or Care Bears.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, works. Yeah. But there's a unicorn in there. So, but like
on roller skates.
I feel like
I hope so.
Practice it.
Oh yeah.
But it is hard, and then you always feel, and I know, and it happens where then they turn on you and go, "What about you when you do this?" And you're like, and you have to be ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of suck at stuff too. So
yeah, I do.
You're gonna, not you, and not me. I was pointing outside of the girl cave.
And then
this is like pink heaven. Nothing goes wrong in here.
Oh God! And then like, do you ever think about that? Okay, so there's that side of what we're talking about, being, open with friends, letting them know all this stuff, and then you read stuff like Like, do you ever read Eckhart Tolle or any of that?
Yeah, I'm reading The Power of Now, but I can't stay in the moment to read it.
That's a tough read. But that philosophy is you don't say anything about anything, ever. So basically, this podcast would be silent.
And how fun would that be? All people can hear is like uncorking a wine and drinking and eating of chips and me coughing with my woman cold. But I kind of, Okay, well anyway, let's not...
Are you ready for your word?
Flog that horse. Okay,
let's not.
Give me your word.
All right.
I want to know, did you put this through some sort of phonetic check?
I'm going to...
If you just say it and it's not right, then I don't stand a chance.
Okay, this is the word.
Okay.
And first of all, the first question is, do you know what this word means, Jacqueline? Argle-bargle.
Argle-bargle. Sounds like something that would be on one of Maddie's TV shows. Argle-bargle.
Don't know the definition?
No,
I'm taking
it. Don't know that.
So,
is it one word?
It has a hyphen. Argle-bargle.
Okay.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
How do you spell it? I need to spell it. I took Latin for 3 weeks.
Argle. You took Latin?
For 3 weeks.
Nice.
In university, then I dropped it.
Wow.
Because it's hard.
It is hard.
And
My
it's
mom
a dead
took
language.
Latin.
Well, it's not really
You guys can have a
it's not
conversation.
Aramaic, but yeah, we totally could. Ecce. That's all I know. Homo. Ecce homo.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It was the name of a book that I had to read. Anyway.
Okay.
That's not.
So argle is Argle and
Yeah.
then hyphen Bargle.
Okay, it sounds totally gibberishy.
You're gonna love it. Okay, use it in a sentence, please.
Okay. While trying to impress my guests at a dinner party, I made an attempt to sound sophisticated while drinking wine, but after 6 glasses, it just came out as argle-bargle.
Yes! You used it properly! I can't believe it!
Kidding?
Copious but meaningless talk or writing.
Oh
Ding,
my
ding, ding,
god,
ding,
I sort
ding,
of
ding,
feel
ding.
like I might be a genius.
You are.
Holy crap.
Well, I don't have to make up a stupid sentence to use it. Thank
No,
you very much.
wait. I want to hear how you would have used it.
Oh, no.
No, come on, you're not off the hook.
I was going to say, I hope that our listeners are getting some value out of this podcast and not thinking it's a bunch of argle-bargle.
Wow, I nailed you.
Isn't that cool?
That was good.
Yeah.
Do another. Okay, next podcast. I don't know if you guys have visited our podcast page, but we have an awesome Instagram filter. So anytime you're out getting tipsy with the girls or friends or anyone at 6, anytime you even think about a glass of wine, hashtag us at tipsy at 6, SIX, or drinks at 6, SIX, and your photos will show up on our podcast page. Okay, I want to move on to another article that you sent me. This is not a court of law, but I feel like I have to respond to everything you sent me. Anyway, this one is by Wendy Fontaine. I'm not familiar with her either, but it was a HuffPo article, and it was 40 things I could do at 40 that I couldn't do at 20. So I kind of like this one because it's such a funny contrast, right? Mm-hmm. She opens the article by talking about the way she would have celebrated her birthday with her roommates in her 20s and you know how things have progressed and where she is now. I won't belabor this one like I did the other ones, but I did like this one. I'm gonna pull out my highlights.
Okay.
She says one of them: tell the truth. And that's just such a simplistic statement, but one that is so hard. That is so hard, right? And so my husband and I battle over this one because I'll say to him, you really need to put a filter on stuff. And he'll say, but you're always saying tell the truth. I'm like, yeah, true. But with people that you don't really know, you know, you can soften the truth. Like you can speak the truth without being critical, right? Mm-hmm. But there is that, it is really tough to tell the truth.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and we're for sure. You know what? I even find if I'm sending an email to somebody or anything where it is not a confrontation in a serious way where I really got to talk about something, but even just addressing anything, I'm an emoticon.
You are
overuser.
An emoticon junkie.
I'm an XOer and I'm an emoticon junkie.
But you're not an LOLer.
I'm not?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, thank you.
No, I want a little Space Invader blaster. When I see LOL, I want to blast it off the screen. I hate LOL.
Yeah. Lots of love, LOL.
My old roommate, Jamie, thought it meant lots of love. And he said to me, this was years ago, and he said, I just want to know when my client is sending me emails saying lots of love. I'm like, oh, dude. Anyway, it's not lots of love.
But yeah, I thought there were like 20 guys that had crushes on me until I...
But you found out they were laughing at you.
Oh my God, all these guys I went to high school with are in love with me, and I'm just finding out now on the LOLs? Oh no, they don't. They're not. Still confirmed, not in love with me.
You know what? You need a millennial in your back pocket to navigate the waters for you here, just so you don't get into any sort of trouble. LOL. Oh, you kill me.
Oh my God. Yeah, speaking the truth, I don't know. Like, I don't think you should lie, but I don't think, you gotta be out there with everything.
I don't think you need to be out there. It depends on, like, who it is and what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't... Speaking the truth to me is, like, right now, if we're at a restaurant, and you have broccoli in your teeth, that's the truth. I'm going to tell you. That's an easy one. Yeah, I mean...
But some people won't even do that. They're like, oh God, I hope they notice, because I don't
know.
want to say
That's code. You tell people when they have fruit or veggies in their mouth.
Yeah. Wayne does the face. Like, if we're out for dinner, he goes, I can't, like, the face, you can't see it, but if the face had sound, it would be like this. Ah! Oh! Ah! That's what I feel like when he looks at me when I have something in my teeth. That's the sound I hear coming out of it.
Is that he's so discreet and he doesn't draw attention to it from all the other tables.
Yeah.
Uncle Wayne.
It's just an expression, but in my head it has a volume. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Okay, so the next one is, these two I'm going to put together. Mm-hmm. Look past a person's flaws and look past my own flaws. That's a good one.
No way.
No. Okay. Well, you know what? No. You're a cold fish. I'm gonna open another glass of wine. I'm gonna open another glass of wine. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So if you're following us, remember tipsy at 6.
The wine and the head cold combo.
It's killing the germs. Can't you see?
It is
getting better. Can't you see?
Yeah. We should do shots actually today.
Yes. Yes, we should.
Yeah. Okay.
And then drive
shots on a Wednesday at 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So What did you say? No.
Look past flaws.
Oh yeah, look past flaws.
Yeah. Although that's a good point. Okay.
Okay. Other people's flaws, fine.
Some flaws.
Some. Well, that gets back to being honest with people and telling the truth. Because
Well, no.
What if I was like,
okay,
what if one of my flaws was that I did this on the podcast?
I would have to get a sanitary wipe down magic mic right now, and I actually do, because you did just do that. What if I did this? You did. That's your flaw. You think you're being hypothetical, but you just invested
what if I said, what if I said things that were offensive, or, like, would you be too embarrassed to say to me, okay, you got to tone it down? Like,
I'd find a funny way to tell you. I would make a joke like, hey, there's children in the audience, or
and what if I still didn't get it?
Well, then I would say to you, okay, I lied. Our listeners aren't 40 years old. Your grandma's listening, and then you'd be like, oh. I'd find a way to get to you. Don't worry. I'd break down that barrier.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. So we gotta let the people know about flaws.
Flawless. We don't know. Go to a therapist without feeling ashamed. I am a huge proponent for therapy. Not every day, not every week, not every month. I like the idea that there's someone outside of your world you can talk to, you can say anything, you can trust, and you can leave it there.
Yeah.
Like, I have a great person I speak to, and honestly, like, I'm going through high periods of stress or problems in my relationship or guilt and insecurity about being a mom. I go there. I wish I could bottle the feeling of perfect wholeness I have when I leave, because I feel so calm and good.
That's great.
Yeah, so I like that point, because I think people have this crazy stigma attached to therapy.
Yeah, it's true. And I've done a lot of therapy as well, and it's funny, it really does, the person that you have can make such a difference. So then there's finding the right person, but then there's also, you have to be prepared to hear things that maybe you don't want to hear, right?
You
to work
have
through
be
stuff.
to do the work.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had that too, where I've walked away from a session and I've felt that feeling that you're describing, and then I've had other times where I'm thinking, oh my God, they probably think I'm like nuts, and maybe they know me, or maybe they know someone that knows me, or
No, I never think I fully trust my therapist.
Good.
But it's funny, like, when I have a session that's kind of ho-hum, I'm like stressed that I just spent $120 that I could have spent on something else. But no, I love the feeling, and I you know what, at this stage in the game, we've all had stuff happen, and like nonpartisan listeners, like a therapist, are great. They're great to bounce stuff off of, and often you come to your own conclusions anyway. I mean, I'm not talking about a therapist who lies you on a couch and makes you pop pills. I'm talking about someone who makes you talk it out.
Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah, I've learned a lot.
And you're right. I love that idea of, in the end, you are your own therapist. They're just directing you to. But
like you said, to your point, finding a really good fit for yourself in therapy is like finding a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. No, it's not that hard, but it's like finding you need that chemistry.
A one-night stand. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not that easy. Well, actually, I'm in my 40s. Is it harder or is it easier? No, it's like it's the chemistry, right? Mm-hmm. You have to really feel comfortable because you're kind of bearing your soul.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so drop that toxic friend. And the last point, avoid the drama. I mean, these aren't all the points, but these are the ones I highlighted. I like those. You know what? Simplify your friggin' life.
Yeah.
It's tough enough. Mm-hmm. And drama presents itself all the time. You don't have to create anymore, and you don't need anyone to create it for you.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
So, I think those 2 points go together. The last one, which I love, is understand that the best is yet to come. And I feel like that sounds like a bumper sticker, like maybe a Michigan State bumper sticker, but I really think that that's true. Like, not looking at this as your best year is gone, but the best years are on their way.
So you're looking to the future, not the present, are you?
Damn it. I am. I feel like I'm in the movie Tron Legacy. Me and Olivia Wilde and I. Anyway.
Maybe trust the best is yet to come, because then you can leave it alone.
Trust the best. Yeah, because then no one can accuse you of not living in the moment.
Exactly.
No one can hold this podcast against you. Good.
Oh, thank God.
Well spun, my friend.
Yeah, because we wouldn't want anybody calling us the Argle-Bargle girls.
The Argle... Those girls are
look at
nothing but drunken Argle-Bargle. So, there's a lot of great points here that we pulled out today from women who are coming up to their 40s or are in their 40s. And we'd like to know if you have any lessons from your 40s that you'd like to share. Maybe share with us, or maybe you want someone in their 30s to know what they're headed for, and hopefully it's all positive. So I said we were going to talk about another celebrity, but I lied. We're going to save that for the next podcast.
Good one. I was hoping you would.
I did that cliffhanger? Yeah. So, Monica... And I want to thank you, because today was so much fun, and so glad that we got to reunite in the Girl Cave.
I know, right after the eclipse.
Right after the eclipse.
We're in the week after the eclipse. Big things are going to happen, but we won't be looking into the future.
We won't be.
We're enjoying the present.
Today. Cheers. So, listen for us on YouTube, and check us out on iTunes or at drinksatsix.com. And we'd love to hear how we're doing. Why don't you leave some questions and comments in the comment box. We'd definitely love to chat about anything that you have on your mind. And if you have some suggestions for how we can make the podcast better, just let us know. Anyway, so have a great night with your glass of wine, and we will see you next Wednesday over Drinks at 6.